Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio. Journey with Grandmother Allayah as she enters her magical world of relics, sacred sites, and ancient crystal skulls. Meet with exciting trailblazer authors and individuals shifting the consciousness of humanity. Send her your questions to be answered on air on her monthly segment, Ask the Oracle. And now your host, Grandmother Allayah, in the sanctuary on the airwaves on OMTimes Radio.
Welcome to Circle of Hearts on OMTimes Radio. Welcome to our sanctuary, which is also being rattled here. The world emotionally is off the wall. Even Charlie and I have had our waves of, oh my heavens, what's happening here. Usually we don't discuss anything the day before, as you know, we've told you. But yesterday we discussed it a little because, you know, we started with one subject and seeing how everything's going prior week. We're going, I don't know, we need a little more defining. So thankfully, Charlie had inspiration. The words choose, we always come across that word, or choice and decision. I think the whole thing is, in this whole process, we're being asked to come from our own soul integrity, not to take in all the emotional energy that we're, you know, being bombarded with, whether it's the media or the social media or family, friends. It's awful. And I should watch my own words, but I mean, you know, it really is. So Charlie and I said, oh, well, this sounds, well, mostly Charlie, you know, he came across and I go, oh, this is good. So,
well, it's not just me. You were the ones who put those words across in Messenger.
Oh, really?
In a little message. I just listen and pick up on what people put out there. And so the words choose and decide were cryptically incorporated in a statement you made. And I said, this is somehow is perfect. Somehow.
No, it is.
Yeah, you're speaking without, you're speaking from your higher dimension, and that's what we were doing, is trying to decide. The concept of our show, basically, there is this year, maybe unity. Last year it was choices. It was all about choices. And what's interesting is here we are in the first show of this year, and we're back at choices again. But it's choose versus decide. And there's a difference. There's a unique difference between choosing something and deciding something. Very similar, but uniquely different. Yeah.
How would you define it? I mean, I know you found some interesting information.
Well, as always, the information starts to flow once I walk into it. And then I battle with what comes through me as well. So, there's what other people have said, and then what I understood. And basically, I'm in alignment with most of what's being said about the difference between choose and decide. And for me, the distinction has always been, when I choose something, I'm choosing it from a place within myself that resonates with who I really am. It's usually based on a desire or a feeling that I make that choice not based on information, but sort of an intuitive, empathic. It will be a empathic decision, and that's unique because when we decide something, usually we're presented with a choice, and here's the other word, and we're We have to pick one or the other, or one of a few. So we have to make a decision where we have to engage our logical mind to make that choice. And so it's a unique pair of words. And that's what caught my attention, choose versus decide. I know when I looked it up on the web, there's all kinds of articles about their choose versus decide. So this has been a long-term issue with people. It's not anything new.
We're so in sync. I'm laughing. I was just going to say, I know you and I also, and people need to realize this, we've been battered like ping pong balls with all this energy. And I'm noticing, and I don't know if you did too, Charlie, also, that whatever space you enter, you kind of absorb it. And,
yes.
If somebody's angry, you go, oh, well, now I'm angry and my throat chakra's opening up. I need to speak my piece. Then if you enter a space of, well, they're trying to create, love or peace, then we go, oh, because on my live feed Saturday I was saying choose love or fear. And then I'm going, I don't know if I'm doing right either. I want people to come from their own integrity instead of absorbing the space. I want them to say, okay, whatever I come up with, this is what's in my gut, in my soul, my own integrity. And this is hard. You don't know what to say anymore, even on this show. That's why I was in a conjure, like, oh my God, what do we do? We just relax, and this is what it's funny. We're at a place where we see massive amounts of separation in our face everywhere around us, and we see it actually being intensified. Okay, and we've been just through an election that has produced fear, anger, frustration, and is continuing into this, presidential 4 years. It has not stopped. It's continuing its progress. So the interesting thing is that the external world right now has really become a very large mirror for each of us. And it's reflecting back to us all of the fear within us, all of the anger within us, all of the pain within us, all of the suffering within us, the concept of being a victim or being a champion. Okay, so all of these things we're being hit with at the same time. Whereas prior to the first of this year, you got a little break or a little separation between the issues, but not now. The energy is so intense right now that it is pushing it all in your face at once. And that's where just choosing love or fear starts to fail. And I'm going to say that because that's what's coming true, because that is still a separation. So what I'm being guided to say is, how do we put love and fear in the same place and choose without separating them? I don't know.
Knowing that, this is what I'm seeing, the yin and the yang. Here it is. Here's the ball before us. And it's love and fear together. And what I'm seeing is that as long as we continue to choose one over the other, we will continue in this sort of dilemma.
Yeah, there's always that duality constantly.
And I think this is what's making us bounce around, really, is because it's just so in our face. And everybody that I talk to or everybody that I see is being drained by it on some level. People are starting to look gray. They're losing their color. They're losing their, sense of humor. They're losing their ability to just relax.
That's for sure. It's a mess. It's a mess.
It's within us. We're doing the same thing. I know you're doing it. I'm doing it. The thing is that in order for us to unify, we have to bring those two concepts, fear and love, together, and realize that there is no real separation in them in truth. It occurs when you start to, it is an illusion, but it occurs when you start to separate them. And if we no longer decide to choose or to separate them and just align with the love, make this commitment. So this is again, before we've been deciding, is it fear? Is it love? I'm going to decide I'm going to be loving today. I'm going to decide and we make this choice. And based on the energy we hit with, we make a decision.
And we'll continue.
and we'll continue. Yes, we will.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've messed up your daughter's haircut. Do you A, get spiritual?
Mom, where's the mirror?
Beauty is within. Oh.
B, find the positives?
Less time blow drying, more time texting?
Or C, show empathy?
Mom, you really don't have to.
Twinsies!
I kinda love it. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
So how we choose, again, I keep on myself getting the thing of, we're working from the higher three chakras, our throat, our high heart, and our, crown, not in that order. But we have to make responsible choices, be responsible for our words what we put out there, and to come from our own inner integrity. And that's hard. It's easier to, be in the crowd mentality.
Well, it's hard because we've been programmed to believe it's hard. You see, this is the part of the play with words that we as humans have done as storytellers. Is we've played with words and we've made words mean certain things to us. They're basically programs and triggers. And, the word choose is more or less to try or to. It's based with enjoy. It's based from the word, a Greek word that means to enjoy, to relish. So when you choose something, it's usually you're attracted to make the choice because it's going to be beneficial to you. When we decide something, the prefix de literally means to cut. We're taking something off. So we're cutting something and killing something. So we're making a choice, but we're choosing one over the other. So we're giving life to one thing and death to another. So there's a different dynamic energetically between the two words. When we choose, everything still stays intact. We're just choosing the one that is most beneficial to us, or most to our innermost integrity, alignment, the one that's most beneficial, the one that uplifts us. Most of the time, we don't make, real conscious, heart-based choices to hurt ourselves. So when I say that, it clearly points out a distinction between choosing and deciding. Deciding is, I don't know what to choose, so I'm going to make a decision. And the funny thing was, it comes from, this line comes from a Rush, the rock band Rush song. Mm-hmm. And the song was called Free Will. And I had to look this up because I said, where did this quote come from? Because when I read it, it had no source. And it comes from the Rush lyrics, Free Will. And the statement is, I've got the whole lyrics here, is basically, let me call up the meaning here. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. So in that statement, the choose is you're coming from your I am presence, your wholeness, your integrity, who you truly are. And from that space, you're making a decision with the aid of your mind and your intellect and your teaching and your programming. But you're still making a choice because you've made that choice only because you couldn't make a choice openly from your heart. So you have to analyze it to make a decision. What we're seeing playing out in the world is this is what the world is playing to us. It's making us make decisions, not choices. And this is why we're so upset with the energy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're being manipulated. In literal terms, we're being manipulated. I'm going to say, from where I sit, I see it as an intentional manipulation. It's an intentional manipulation. What's happening is we're being bombarded with concepts that come from a construct of population control. How do you control 6 million people? How do you make 6 million people want the same thing? And so what I see playing out for us is we're basically part of a large experiment. And people aren't going to like what I have to say here, but I'm going to speak my truth, and this is it. I see this as a large psychological experiment, and we're being manipulated. And we have to come back to choosing from the heart, back to that place of unity, of putting the love and the fear back together again and saying, here they are. They coexist. Okay? This is the world of duality, and they coexist in the same sphere. I can live with that because I know that I can make a choice to shift it to the love. I'm not stuck in the fear. All I have to do is choose love from my heart. The word soul, as I've said before, the anagram I was given was source of unconditional love. And we're being actually programmed to disregard that and say, no, you're a human and you have to make these choices, and you don't have enough information to make them, and we're also going to give you false information, and then we're going to, hide information, and we're going to make you make a choice. Well, you're not going to make a choice. You will make a choice because invariably it's a choice, but you're going to make it based on a decision, a calculation. And how can you calculate when you don't have all the information? So it's an amazing time we're going through. So I'm going to let you roll with this.
Yeah, I think, and we're dealing with different levels of people awakening. Some may hear this and say, okay, makes sense. Then you have others who in their own unfolding, they're going, this doesn't make any sense because I'm in a mess of a situation. I keep on seeing people say, I'm lost.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, how in the world do you reach out to the people and say, okay, we're here, we're going to get through this? And they're going, what have you been smoking?
Well, no, it doesn't, years ago, we've all endured this, that those of us who are speaking out today have all endured this in our life. We've been ridiculed, we've been chastised, we've been punished, as a matter of fact, for thinking and doing what we do. All right? In past lifetimes, we've probably been killed and hung and burned at the stake. Because the reality is that when you teach people to open themselves to who they truly are and think for themselves and make choices for themselves, you set them free. They are no longer enslaved by anything. And at that point, they become co-creators. We're all co-creators. We're all created in the image of that which created us. Well, that image is a creator. So how can we not be a creator? But the world doesn't want us to know that or believe that, because they only want us to be able to know and believe that to serve just a few, not the whole. And this is where unity comes in. This is where we have to unify as a whole species. The oak trees in the woods talk to the birch trees. The birch trees talk to the maple trees. The roots are all connected. They communicate. They're a forest. In that aspect, they're a forest. This is sort of a natural, cohesive part of living on planet Earth, is working together, connecting with each other, and working as a whole. And this is where what's being shown in our faces right now is to see how unwhole we are. And then that, in turn, is the mirror that makes us personally feel unwhole. And that's when you get this expression, I'm lost.
Yeah, it's
because there's a big emptiness there.
Prevalent.
So to realign that for people is to give them a focus to look within themselves and make choices from within themselves. It's not going to necessarily align with everything outside. And it doesn't have to. What it has to do is align with your heart. If what you're seeing coming at you. If that was happening to you, how would you feel? Never mind how they feel. It isn't about them. It's always about us. And this is where the shift has to occur, because that's what's being programmed. The program is to look at everybody else and feel bad or do this and react. We don't need to react anymore. We need to stop reacting. We need to sit still and listen, to watch the field, to take a deep breath and look.
Power.
When we do that before we meditate. We do that before we do a lot of things. We take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and anchor that. We connect with the focus of all of life. And in doing that, it slows down the mind. And so this is why we can meditate, even if it's just briefly, and come back from that feeling better, is because we're detaching from that energy that's outside of us. As I said earlier, that energy is being ramped up on a lot of different levels, some in not good terms, and just the natural energy of planet Earth, the Schumann resonance is even increasing. So these are things that we're in the middle of this vortex of energy, and it is our opportunity, our golden moment, to really grasp that energy, to choose to become who and what we truly are that we're not aware of.
Now, leaving on that thought, we'll be back.
Well, there you go. Perfect timing again.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Hello! Join us, Lisa Berry and Michelle Carter, every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for the Mindset Makeover, What's Possible. Get ready to become present, clear, and unstuck, and start living fully, led by your heart. While you listen and feel this transformation through vibration of word, sound, and song, you'll open up to what's possible and experience your shift.
Hey, this is Reva McIntyre, and I wanted to talk to you about a serious problem right here in our own backyard. Did you know that there are nearly 16 million kids struggling with hunger in America? That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food, engaging their communities in solving hunger and giving hope to hungry kids and their families. But they need your help. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
What I like to do next is, like I said, sometimes in the talks that I do, I try to get people to remember that they're more than what they think they are here, and that's hard enough. But I think we have to find some steps to help people step out of this mess. I know for me, sometimes it's I write Charlie and I got my head in the sand like an ostrich. I got to disconnect from looking at the TV, the social media, the radios, anything. I just have to go in my little cave or in, my head in the sand and gather myself away from all the crazy, disharmony. Do you have any steps? I think this would be helpful for people.
Well, I think what I embrace is simplicity. Okay, in the past 25, 26 years, whatever it's been since I've returned here to Earth, it has been a journey of simplification. And I've read many different paths, many different patterns, many different ways of doing things, and they're all amazing. So there's some amazing things, but they don't always resonate with us or with us as individuals because we're all unique. So what I try myself is to try to find things to read that are calming, reinforcing my sense of self, of who I am. I look at myself, and when I came out, I chose not to go to doctors. And I'm not saying this as a recommendation, but I didn't want somebody else. What I'm saying it for is, I didn't want somebody else telling me who I was. I wanted to know who I was as I came back from my death experience. What was this all about? Many of you out there have had death experiences, and you will remember them. And it's okay. And many of you are asking me all the time to express what that was like, because a part of you is knowing within your heart that you were something more than just 2 legs, 2 arms, a brain, and a stomach. Okay? And that quest is where you begin, is trying to discover for yourself, what are you more than? And this is where the journey within begins. And so, yes, meditation is great, just learning to find some peaceful, relaxing music. Just sit and listen. It always comes up to me. Every time I'm in a group, it says, listen. And I do it. Just listen. Listen for anything that is just a little bit different than what you're hearing in all the noise. And you'll start to recognize it. As I said to you before we went on the show, listen, your head in the sand, I said, don't do that. Be at the beach, listen to the water. So here's a perfect thing. It was like come right out of my mouth saying to you, people, go to the beach, go to the lake, whatever. Listen to the water. The water right now is really speaking to us in many more ways than just it's polluted and there's pipelines and all. The water, we are water beings. We were born in water. And I say we were water beings before we were human beings, because we lived within the womb of our mother. We created blood in our bodies before we had hearts. That's a scientific fact. So these things, the water is really speaking to us. So what I want to share with people is get near some water. Get near some water. Sit still and listen. Just sit still, be still, listen. If you don't have water near you, know that the trees that you are they're all reaching into the water beneath the ground. Tap into that. Journey with the trees, the roots down into the water inside the earth. So I guess I'm really saying is that we need to really shift our awareness to our being part of a much larger organism. We're not separate. We're not human beings who are separated from this larger organism we call planet Earth. It's a living being. Change your thought patterns. We've been told so many things, and yet in our hearts, what I'm saying, and in your hearts, what I'm saying will resonate with you. So, find a place to be still. Investigate different ways of bringing yourself to a peaceful state of being. And that's why I say simplicity. Don't make it complicated. The journey shouldn't be complicated. If we start to complicate the journey, all we're doing is mimicking what's outside of us. And then that's just going to bring more disruption. So if you feel that disruption and you feel that chaos in what you're doing, choose again. Say, no, this is not what I'm looking for. This resembles what I'm trying to understand and move away from. Make another choice. And make another choice. And make another choice. And what happens is eventually you start, you very, well, no, but eventually what happens is this is the thing. You start to learn to make choices, not decisions. You know, in the workplace, sure, you have to make a decision. Does this column go here? Does this stack of numbers? It's a decision. That's not a choice. A choice is personal. A choice aligns with who you are. It isn't about pleasing everybody else. It's about pleasing you. We've been taught that that's selfishness. It's not selfishness. It's self-fullness. How do we become self-full? This is what the world outside of us plays on. It takes that fullness and it sucks it right out of us, and then it leaves us lost. And I love that word, lost. You're not lost.
Yeah, I've been there a few times.
But this is the message. You are not lost. You are exactly where you are meant to be in order to look around and find yourself. That emptiness, you're supposed to be in that emptiness. Because what's left is only you. In that moment, there's only you. You have to deal with you. This is what's happening to us now. We're being sort of forced to deal with ourselves. So yeah, step back from Facebook if you get overwhelmed. Step back from whatever you're doing. You're engaging with other people, or etc. Step back, find that still space, find that beach, find that forest path, find that place of tranquility where you can listen to nature. Mother Earth is a great teacher. She's been teaching us ever since we set foot on this planet.
And I think what I share with other people is we're in a process of remembering. It's not, and a lot of people may not agree with me, and that's fine. This is just my own thoughts, that we're beyond being taught. How can we say we're ascending and then go to somebody and have somebody tell us what to do or what our future is going to be like, or etc.? I think the perception has to be changed to how can we help you remember the knowledge that's within you? Because I notice people that are responding or saying, I guess I'm giving them credit and saying, they feel this inside, that they're knowledgeable. So when you support that view and say, let's help you remember you, as a spirit in this human vessel, and as as light that knows more than you even think you know, and come from that point. So they start trusting themselves. So if something does come up, they'll trust to make a good choice instead of running around saying, "Well, what is everybody else doing?" The perceptions are changing.
The word empowerment comes to mind when you say that. And there's a point where when we stop listening and we just hold off, we have to trust ourselves, and that's empowerment. Dowsing, I make dowsing rods now that are highly amazing, and I teach dowsing on just a little level, but I've become an evolutionary dowser, what's called an evolutionary planetary dowser. The reality is basically all it's doing is all the rods and pendulums are just giving us the ability to trust ourselves again, because they're giving us a confirmation. So as you were talking, I'm seeing the difference between people teaching you something and people confirming something in you. To confirm something in us, we have to remember. We have to remember. This is what you were talking about. We're just confirming something that they know already. Usually when I speak, I'm not trying to teach anybody anything. If you learn something, then you've taught yourself because you listened. You listened to what I said, and you either agreed or you disagreed.
Yeah, wow. We'll have to go back into more empowerment on our last bit.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hello, I'm Miriam Knight of New Consciousness Review, inviting you to my new show where I interview the rising stars of the conscious awakening. We'll explore the many faces of consciousness in action and intriguing perspectives on life, the universe, and everything in between. Join us each Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Rising Stars Show.
People are always looking to invest in a good opportunity. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change, called Better Futures. With your investment, it helps students like me go to college. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Well, first, I just want to say something, probably get myself out of hot water. There are many, many, many beautiful souls, psychics, channels, mediums that I've learned from. But this is just my own perception where I'm going. So I'm not saying, well, that way is not right. No, that way is right for so many people seeking. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is if you're looking for a little bit more, so when I did those feeds and I see people responding, you say something, and I've been getting a lot of people saying you just confirmed my feelings. And it went right over my head. So, that's why people say, I was thinking about that, and you just confirmed it. I'm going, okay.
Beautiful.
Over my head.
That's so beautiful.
And then Charlie says, confirm.
Really, that's all we're doing. And for those of you who do feel that you need help from somebody who's empathic, highly empathic, or telepathic, or psychic, or please reach out to those people. Please find somebody that's trustworthy, that you feel comfortable with, that you resonate with on a level, because that's a unique process too. I don't do that work, but when I counsel with people, I do it automatically. But they're there to assist us. Their clairvoyance and their ability to see into different dimensions, et cetera, is powerful, and it's a powerful tool to help guide us. But once again, ultimately, we are the ones who are going to make the choices with the information that we get. Okay, this is our empowerment, is to make our own choices.
I totally agree. I think this is what this year is about.
Right, and so this is about the unity and the connectiveness, and all of us who work in these different areas are here to serve. We're really, truly all here to serve, and each one of us have our unique gifts, and they're so varied and they're so amazingly wonderful. And as I see so many people through the social media, et cetera, and it just amazes me that I even consider myself to be part of that collective group. But I know that that's who we are, and we're here to assist people to meet themselves and greet themselves, the real you. Will the real you please stand up? We want to see who you are. We want to know you. We want to feel you. We want to touch you. We want to embrace you. We want to see what you have to bring forth to this world. We have generations who are coming behind us. And many of you who listen may be young, may be part of the younger generation, 20-year-olds, 15-year-olds. I've had a group of 15 to 20-year-olds who are seeking some wisdom from somebody who's not just going to give them a bunch of garbage, but they're going to sit there and talk to them. So open yourselves, open your hearts to each other, and know that each of you are a powerful force when we gather together in unity. And the only way we can do that is to stop playing with separation. We have that choice to make. Stop separating everything. Bring it all into oneness. Just whatever that means for you. Whatever that means for you.
I agree with Charlie. Be discerning. I don't want people in these emotional times to get wrong what I said. I've spent my life giving readings. I've spent my life, helping, guiding people. So it's all part of the process. I just think where I'm seeing in my own development, everybody needs guidance. I mean, I've gone to people myself, and I'll say these people associated with homes, I totally do trust, the people of integrity. Mm-hmm. But I just want you, when you do make a choice, or you do say, if you need some guidance, and we all do, believe me, me too, raising my hand here, use it, and use it wisely, and just, I think we're eventually on our soul growth, reaching to that point that we were talking about today of finding your own integrity. This is where the seeker, which is all the souls on earth, are looking on that spiritual path to grow by and to refine themselves, to come back full circle and as in this physical life see themselves. Hey, I'm a soul. I know I make it sound simple, but I think that's what we're aiming for.
What's amazing is what we forget. What we forget in unity, everybody says, "Oh, I don't want to be just like everybody else," and you will never be just like everybody else, because each one of you are a unique expression of energy. Okay, and what it does is there's great. If you look at the world and see the great diversity in nature, there's diversity between plants and animals and fish, etc., and bacteria, and everything is expressing itself energetically differently. Yet, when they all work together, everything is beneficial for the whole. Okay? It becomes one living organism, planet Earth. When we don't do that, what do you have? You have chaos, you have war, you have all of this destruction. And so humanity is now, I think humanity has had enough. I think what we're seeing is the collective whole of humanity is looking at itself and saying, enough is enough. And so as we come back to knowing who we are, we start to celebrate our diversity. We start to celebrate that there's 400 different religions. We get to celebrate that there's how many ethnic groups in the world. We get to celebrate because each one has something unique and different. And so we start to celebrate the good parts, the parts that are whole, the parts that are abundant, that share abundance, not the parts that are greedy and take away and separate, coming together. First, we have to come together within ourselves. And as we create that vortex of energy of coming together within ourselves, we automatically draw in people who are similar energies, similar like, things we like, things we do, how we think. And as we do that, we build a field of resonance that's whole and complete. And it shines. It's a brilliant light. And that light attracts more light. And so, the vision I'm having is we're just these bubbles of light, first as unique individuals, then as groups, and we build on that. That's co-creating in essence. And that's where we need to take the world. The world needs to become co-creative and let go of the fear of lack. It's in a world of abundance. It has never been a world of lack. If it was a world of lack, we wouldn't be here now. If you want truth, I'm not going to tell you what's going to be told you in that storybook. I read the same storybooks you did when I went to school. And I threw them in the trash because I knew that they were lies. Not everything, but a lot of the stuff they were teaching was about lack and pain and suffering, and that was okay. It's not okay. I died and came back to be a messenger. There's 3 things you need to focus on: peace, light, and love. However you want to interpret that, doesn't matter to me. Just remember those 3 things. Align with those 3, and you'll align with who you truly are. And I think I'm complete on that. I got to.
No, you brought out.
Thank you.
You made a lot of good points. These are difficult times, and even as Shirley reminds me, hey, you incarnated at this time to be here. I mean, no one threw us back.
this is I'm glad to be. I'm so glad to be here now. That I didn't think to get to this point has not been an easy journey. I'm just as human as everybody else. This is not it's not like I'm some saint or I call myself an angel, and I am. I'm an earth angel, and that's who and what I embody at this point. But the reality is I'm still human. I still put my shoes on. I still have to eat food. It's just, I'm real.
And you like chocolate.
And I went cold turkey on potato chips. So for those of you who are having dietary cravings lately, don't worry. We all are. Yeah. It's insane. It's all insane. But the fun of it is to allow yourself to feel that and be who you are. It's important. I want to see who you are.
And on those notes, remember the word, be discerning about everything. And, just know you're supported, and we'll get through this together. So until next week, thank you, Charlie.
Bless you all. I love you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.